This is why your best month in business might actually be killing it. Trust me, I know. We all want to hit that 20K month, 30K, 50K, 100K. Shoot, maybe you just want to hit your first 5K or 10K month in your business. Maybe we're just starting there, right? What you don't realize is that by you chasing that revenue and by chasing that metric, what you're actually doing is killing your business. When you put so much emphasis on the revenue, you tend to look away from and create blind spots around the issues that are within your own business. And you'll tend to rationalize certain things, right? You'll rationalize and say, hey, well, I made 20K this month. I made 10K this month. That's good. But you're not factoring in business operations. You're not factoring in the cost of doing service, right? You're not factoring in labor. You're not factoring in what your net profit actually looks like. And even if you are focused on your profit margins, you're focusing on them too much to the point where you're actually just saying yes to everything and you're not making the best decisions that are what you're supposed to be doing for the business. I went through this exact same cycle in October of 2025, in November of 2025, and again in December of 2025. So at the start of 2026, something has to change, right? Or else I'm going to get the same exact result. The thing is, we have to detach from focusing on the revenue and we have to ask, what systems do we need to build that are 20K a month systems, that are 50K a month systems, that are 100K a month systems? Because the revenue is simply just a byproduct of the ecosystem of the business. So a 5K a month system is not going to be able to generate 100K a month. You're going to have a different level and intensity of that system, right? It's going to have to be more enhanced, more improved, more robust, like I talked about in my last video. And you can wing it, honestly. You can pretty much wing it, I'd say, up to 20K a month and hit that number, hit that figure. Like if you have a high income skill and you just run volume and you just try to get as many contracts as you can, get as many gigs, as many jobs as you can, go crazy on the referrals, go crazy on the outreach, price yourself appropriately. You can hit 20K a month by just winging it. That's what I did. I wouldn't say I winged it entirely, but I didn't have a system in place. And yet I still made 20K in revenue, right? And the profit margins were above 50%. But that did not take away from the fact that I was blinded to the fact that I had no systems in place. I didn't have the capacity to actually take on more work than what allowed me to hit that 20K. And who knows, I probably could have done a 50K month if I would have had the proper systems in place. But because I was so focused on that revenue number and that goal of hitting 20K a month, I was doing every and anything. I was saying yes to anything. I was doing one-off projects and pricing things differently. I was adapting my pricing based on whatever project came my way. Sometimes I would price it more. Sometimes I would price it lower. Sometimes I'd negotiate just so I could actually get the deal. But none of that entails a repeatable, predictable, scalable system. And none of that is actually going to get you to the revenue goals that you're trying to hit with a healthy profit margin. Because, honestly, revenue means nothing. You can make $1 million in revenue, but if your profit margin is 2%, it's pointless. So we have to get real clear on what it is that we want to do, who we want to serve, and how we can effectively price ourselves accordingly, and how to build systems around that. I know I talk a lot about systems. I talk about identity and systems. Those are the two main things I talk about every time I'm talking to you. I'm talking either about identity or systems, how to change your identity and shift your mindset, or what system you need to build around a particular area. It's tried and true. And I'm saying this because I'm talking to myself as well. Every time I make a video, I'm not only talking to you, but I'm talking to myself as well. Because these are things that I've had to learn throughout the process, and I'm still continuing to learn. And I have to remind myself of these things so that way I can continue to grow. When you are in the mindset of survival, which I like to call employee and freelancer, they're constantly in a survival mindset, right? Constantly in survival mode. I lived that way for 3-4+ years, right? No longer in survival mode now. And now that I'm no longer in survival mode, I can think about things differently. I have the time to actually contemplate and observe to see what is the best course of action, as opposed to just being reactionary to everything, whether it's good or bad within the business. So when you're in that survival mode, you're not thinking about systems. You're not thinking about predictability and scalability and how to create something that can run itself. You're thinking about, I need money. When's the next project coming? When's the next check coming? I need to pay my bills. That's what you're thinking. And it's difficult to be able to step out of that mind frame and observe things from a broader perspective on how you can actually achieve that which you're pursuing in the best way possible. Because you may think that this 20K month is going to change your life, but I can guarantee you it's not. It's not. Because you don't have the systems in place to continuously hit that again and again and again and again and again until 20K months feel like 2K months. You think that once you hit a certain number, once you hit a certain revenue goal, once you take home even a certain amount of profit, that's going to change everything. But it's not. The only thing that is going to truly implement change within your business and within your life is creating systems. But we have to address the root cause before we can talk about the practicalities of the systems that we're building. Why do you feel the need to take everything, to be the one that's doing everything, to hold on to so much that you're literally not capable of building systems? You're living in such survival mode as a freelancer, or maybe you've even become an employee within your own business. You used to be an employee, you quit, you started your own business, but now you're just an employee within your own business, and you have more than one boss now because you have more than one client. So you went from having one boss and getting a consistent check to now having inconsistency that's entirely based upon your ability to produce when it comes to income. And you have multiple bosses that you have to answer to now. Sounds like you're worse off. But you're actually not. It's your perspective and in how you're seeing things. And because you're stuck in this pattern of survival mode, I have to get this money, I have to get this contract, I have to do this, I'll work with anybody. Yes. That right there is the reason. You need to get clear and you need to get clarity on how you want to move within your business, who you want to serve, what product, what service you offer. And you need to create a core set of offerings around your skill set. And that's not to say you can't do things here and there, right? I mean, us as a video agency, we get inquiries all the time for random one-off projects. Like we're doing a bat mitzvah in April. We don't specialize in that, but yeah, we'll do it. But that's not our core offer. That's not what we're pushing. We have a clear ICP for what we push. We work with financial management and retirement planning companies. And we have clear targeted messaging. We have a clear offer. And we have a system around how we can push that offer out, how we can scale that, and how we can acquire clients within that framework. And there's no guesswork outside of just iterating and implementing and enhancing the system. We have clarity. And that's what you're lacking, is clarity. You need clarity to be able to build systems that can allow you to scale. And you think that that clarity is going to be found in whatever revenue goal that you're trying to achieve, however small or big it is. But until you can create those systems and until you can actually do the things that you know you need to do to move that needle forward in that respect, which starts with the mindset, you're never going to have that clarity. And that is one of the most frustrating things as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, especially when you're starting out early, is to not have clarity in the direction that you're going or what you're doing. Because you're just spinning your wheels. And you may make money here, you may even make a lot of money here and there, but you're still spinning your wheels. You're stressed out, you're anxious, you have no time. You still find some way to fuck it up, and now you're like, okay, well, where did the money go? I thought we were doing good. But you don't have clarity. And if you don't have clarity, you can't make informed and proper decisions. So you have to first start with the mind, right? With the identity. And then from there, you can develop that action plan from the clarity that you receive of the shift in perspective and the shift in mindset. So the last thing I want you to do is start this year with this grandiose revenue goal that you want to hit, no matter how small or big it is, whether it's $2,000 a month or $2 million a month. The last thing I want you to do is pursue that revenue goal and only focus on that revenue goal. You have to recognize that that revenue is simply a byproduct of the systems that you're able to build and that you're able to create. And that is exactly what I help people do. I help people change their mindset, shift their identity from survival mode, from being a freelancer, from being an employee within their own business, to now having that clarity to know what an action plan looks like to build those systems within their business. Now, I don't know your industry more than you do, 9 times out of 10. You probably know your industry way more than I do. But you're lacking clarity. And I'm able to see a lot of the blind spots, especially with the people that I work with. And there's a commonality of the fact that it's an identity thing. It's a mindset thing. It's a perspective shift that needs to happen for those blind spots to now be open, for those scales to fall off the eyes, to be able to see the proper opportunities to now create a system around their business that allows them to scale, allows them to focus on the bigger vision, allows them to reclaim their time, have location freedom, and hit the revenue goals that they're looking for. All 5 encompassed. When you're just strictly focusing on one, you're sacrificing the other 4, and you're going to burn yourself out and feel frustrated at the end anyway. I'm saying this from experience. Trust me. So if this sounds like you and you're having confusion or you're struggling with finding clarity and the path forward to actually build systems around your business, definitely hit me up on Instagram or click the link down below to book a call, and we can walk through what that roadmap would look like. But even if you don't do that, I want you to walk away with this video with one thing. I want you to ask yourself, why do I want to hit that revenue goal? Why? What do I want from that revenue goal? Is it financial freedom? Is it location freedom? Is it autonomy? Is it the ability to now hire people and delegate to reclaim your time? What is that main reason? Because if you just say, oh yeah, I just want to make a lot of money, chances are you're actually going to kill your business in the process without you even knowing it. And you're going to be glossing over that fact because you're going to have this illusion of having a high revenue month. And that high is going to feel so good. for a couple of days, maybe even a week, maybe even a couple of weeks, and then boom, it's going to crash. And you're going to be hit with the fact that you still have no clarity. And you thought that that revenue goal was going to give you the clarity. And then you're going to try to scramble to say, hey, well, how do we repeat this? Let's just do the same thing that we did before. But that's not a system. Doing the same thing that you did before is not a system, right? Because a system allows you to have that clarity. A system allows you to recognize what's working, what's not, where to iterate, where to improve, where to change things. So I want you to ask yourself that question. Come up with a truthful answer, right? Even if you don't know, that's a great start. If you have no idea, if you just say, yeah, I just want to make a lot of money, I don't even know why, that's a good start. Dig deeper, ask more questions. And if you feel like you want to hop on a call with me to see what that roadmap would look like to achieve that clarity, to actually step into that identity of being a true entrepreneur and hitting all 5 aspects of being able to build the systems around your business that give you that freedom, click that link below. Let's hop on a call, see if you're a fit for us to work together. But I want you to leave this video with at least something of a shift in perspective, because I think that is probably the biggest thing that can make a difference and can make a change. When you can start to see things differently, you can start to think differently, you can start to behave differently, believe differently, act differently, and therefore receive differently. So with all that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.